Hope everyone is doing well. This is the FPL Duo, and we're back again for another video today. It is the third day of the price reveals, so we had another five teams today, um, and we're just going to go ahead and speak about the five teams. We've got the prices. I just want the game to kind of launch now. Um, I don't know what you make of the FPL slowly teasing the prices. I just want the game to launch now. We've got FPL River in the chat. He says, "Evening lads, hope you're all good." Yeah, shout out to him. We're doing all right, mate. Hope you're well as well.
Yeah, all good here.
But yeah, five new teams. Let's not waste any time. Let's talk about the teams that I did drop today. So let's bring up the first team, and that is Chelsea. If you look at their fixtures, they've got Everton away, then they got Spurs, then Leeds, then Leicester, then Southampton. So what do you make of Chelsea's fixture? Just very quickly, it looks quite good, doesn't it? You'd say.
Yeah, not too bad fixture wise. It's really only Spurs one that's difficult. I'd say the rest are average to easy for Chelsea
Mm,
to take on in the first five.
yeah. Let's quickly discuss the main ones we were looking out for was the fullbacks. So Ben Chilwell and Reece James both priced at 6 million, which is a surprise if we're being honest, because we both thought there'd be a bit more, wouldn't they? Especially Reece James.
Yeah,
We thought Reece James would be 6.5. So both being 6 million, I think is slightly cheap. And you know how I was saying yesterday about Robertson and Diaz, and I said I'm going to get Robertson over Diaz, but now because these Chelsea defenders have been priced so cheaply, I do think there's a discussion to be had to not get Robertson in, because is Robertson 1 million better than Chilwell and James in terms of how many points they can score? I don't know. So if I'm being honest, I wouldn't be against bringing in Chilwell and James even as a double up ahead of Robertson, so I can afford Diaz and have Diaz up top, if that makes sense. So yeah, yesterday I was saying, guys, I was gonna get Robertson in and then ignore Chilwell, but sorry, ignore Diaz. But I think I'm gonna change my mind now. I might just get one of the Chelsea fullbacks and have Diaz and Salah as my Liverpool assets along with Trent. So yeah, got some comments here from MSF Daily. She says, "Evening everyone, evening to you." She said
even.
Havertz defo is one to pick upcoming weeks. We'll get on to Havertz. FPL River says James and Chilwell at 6 million each. Yep.
Yeah,
Um,
that was our reaction when we saw
yeah,
that.
with James, obviously it was a bit of a surprise to see them priced at both at 6 million. I thought Chilwell will stay at six because of the injury. But James, I'm surprised he's been priced that low. As I think we're no one surprised really that they are priced at that, especially with the generous pricing structure the FPL have gone with this season. It seems so. All in all, I think from what I've seen from now on, though, from the defenders that I've released, big at the back is probably the way to go. Like four at the back, five at the back. I'll be very surprised if anyone does go with three at the back. Because I just don't see what's the point playing three at the back anymore, because there's so many good defenders at very good prices. Your Trents, your Chilwell, your James. There's also a couple of good 4.5 million defenders, and maybe it makes sense to get them in instead of these. Instead of playing more strikers, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's just my opinion on it. MSF Daily thinks James will get more points. FPL River says, "Do it, Haas. Change your mind." Yep, I think I will. I think I'm gonna get. I think I'm gonna get well, at least James or Chilwell. I'll definitely have one in my game week one team. And Leo is good. Says evening all.
Evening, Leo.
Evening to you. Um. So yeah, what's your views on the fullbacks, Jordan? In terms of obviously value for money, and are you gonna have both in your team, or I'm assuming you're gonna have at least one?
Yeah, I think to start off with, I think I have at least one just to see between the two whether Chilwell or James is doing better than the other. Because obviously last season Chilwell got injured with a ACL injury, so we have to see what he's like when he comes back into the season, how his performance goes after that injury. It's similar to
Yeah,
James, where he wasn't as badly injured as Chua was in the season, but he did have some injury issues during the season. So I do expect James to do a little bit better than Chua to start off with, though. I'm pretty sure James will have a better start than Chilwell, but we'll have to see. But definitely picking one of the two. I'll probably favour James over Chilwell.
all right. That's a fair enough shout. If I'm picking, I'm probably going to go with both. I haven't ruled out getting both. We will come on to Mendy, because surprisingly, Mendy's also priced at 5 mil, but I don't think that's as big of a bargain as I first thought he'd be. Because if I'm going two at the back with Chelsea, I don't really want to triple up on Chelsea at the back. So Mendy for me is probably a no go. But I like the price, 5 million. I've seen a lot of chat about that. Is he underpriced? I think that's fair. You know, but the one that does interest me more is obviously the fullback. So I don't think I'll be going near Mendy, but there is a discussion to be had, guys. Let us know if you're going to be willing to bring in a goalie that's 5 million instead of a 4.5, which is what we normally go for. Because there are, Allison's at 5.5, isn't he? Mendy's
Yeah,
5. So there is a bit of a option there. So
yeah.
we'll have
Ramsdale's
to
five
see.
two.
Yeah. So we'll have to see how that happens and how that goes. But yeah, let's move on to the other player, Mason Mount. Um, Mason Mount's priced at 8 million, which is, I think, is as expected. He's the same price as Saka, same price as Foden, same price as Luis Diaz. So I think that's a fair price. I know a lot of people have been complaining whether players are overpriced or underpriced in this season, but I think Mount is one of the guys that I think that's a fair price for him, 8 million. So he could be an option later down the line for us. Maybe not. I don't know. Let me know if he is a game week one option for you guys. You've got Everton. Um, and then Spurs looks quite tough. Leeds is a good game, I'd say. Leicester and then Southampton aren't too bad either. But I like Mount. There is still a potential. I'll definitely bring him in, but I don't know about my game week one team. And then moving on to the other players, obviously we spoke about Mendy. I think he could become an option for some people. Not very interested in Jorginho, sorry, at 6 million. Pulisic is interesting. He's a midfielder at 6 million, and if he gets game time and he nails down a starting spot, could become a serious option maybe later down the line, but not for a game week one team. The other one that I like the look of is Havertz. Havertz is a forward now at 8 million. Chelsea have just loaned out Lukaku, so there is a spot now in the centre forward position, and Havertz, I assume, is the starting centre forward now, unless they sign a player. But as of now, it looks like Havertz is the key man for them up front, and I do like him at 8 million, and he's one that you know is one I'm looking at maybe for later down the line when Chelsea get some good fixtures. If I need a forward, I prefer Havertz over all the other players probably in their team, apart from obviously the wing backs. Werner, 8 million, he had a downgrade, I think, in price. I'm not too keen on him. Not really interested. There is rumors that he can move this summer, but yeah, Havertz is the one I think that I would go for if I'm looking for a Chelsea attacker, especially if they don't make any more signings. But it looks unlikely because it does look like they will buy a couple of forwards in the summer window. But all in all, I think the standouts are Chilwell, James, Mount, and Havertz. Mindy for some people as well. But other than that, I'm not too interested in Silva and Adoy and these guys because obviously you just don't know if they're going to play. But quickly touching on the wing backs with Chilwell and James, they're priced very reasonably at 6 million. Do you think big at the back could be the way to go this season? Like 4 or 5 defenders? I would, what's your view on it?
Yeah, I think it would be very favourable to go big at the back. I think the way it's going in terms of prices for players, we have seen a lot of forwards priced very expensive, but we have seen the back defence cheap, like not really that expensive. We've had a few shockers like Cancelo and Trent, who we thought would be priced more expensive, but have turned out to be really cheap. It's like the same for Chilwell and James again. it's cheap. They're both the same price, which is even better because you're not losing out on money if you get one or the other. It's even Stevens there, and yeah, I think five at the back is a good way to start the season. I think, and throughout, maybe you can probably go five at the back for most of the season.
Yeah, I do expect most managers to play 4 or 5 at the back, whether that's a 4-5, sorry, whether it's a 5-1 or a 4-5-1, or even a 4-4-2. I think it might be a bit more realistic this season. I know many people played it last year. I do see a bit of a template forming already with certain players, but I guess that's always bound to happen every year anyway. But yeah, I definitely like Chelsea. If I look at their fixtures, Everton, Leeds, Leicester, and Southampton, I definitely want Chilwell or James in my team. I've not ruled out a double up in their defense. So maybe you can go without Cancelo, dare I say, as well, because if Cancelo is priced at 7 million, is he a million better than Chilwell and James? Let us know, guys.
In my opinion, I would say yes.
I know what you mean. I would say he's better, but if you look at Reece James, he was averaging more points per game than anyone. I think even higher than Trent in FPL terms. Chilwell was obviously doing great as well. He was actually popping up with a lot of goals before that ACL injury. But one caveat there is with the only caveat there is with the Chelsea defense is that obviously Rudiger's left, Christensen's left. There is a bit of upheaval in the back, so we don't know how they're going to play like defensively. Are they going to be as strong? With obviously Rudiger's a massive miss for them, but I still expect Chelsea to be a decent team at the back. I don't think they're going to crumble or anything. I still believe they'll be a good defensive team, or a decent one anyway. And with Chilwell and James, whether they're playing a back four or a back five, they always have that attacking threat. We know how Tuchel likes to use his wing backs. They are usually up there, with the attack, and they do chip in with the goals and assists. So I still think both of them are great options, even with the departures at Chelsea at the back. Got FPL River says, I think 5 mil Mindy is great, but the ceiling is much higher for James and Chilwell. Yeah, I agree. Why you rather just spend that 1 million more and then get Chilwell and James instead of Mendy? Yeah. FPL River also says a fit James and Chilwell will outscore a lot of 8 million midfielders. So yes, big at the back is on. Yeah, I completely agree with this comment. Great shout. I just see so much value in the defense. Like, for example, Trent Alexander-Arnold is priced at what, 7.5?
Yep.
Bowen is priced at 8.5. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Trent goes and outscores Bowen for the whole season in terms of FPL points. That's just obviously that's another topic where we think Trent is probably priced too cheap, but I do think for me right now, if I'm looking at a little bit of a template, is that defense. It looks very, very good to me. You even got cheap players like Johnny and stuff and Ben White and whatnot that you could put on the bench. So yeah, I'm liking that. The big at the back tactic. Leo is good. Says scary to play double Chelsea defense when Rudiger left. Yeah, I just mentioned that about Rudiger leaving. He does make Chelsea weaker. Obviously, he was probably their best defender, but they are likely to sign, a couple of defenders if rumors are true. But I still think they'll be a decent team defensively. I don't think they've still got Thiago Silva there. They're going to sign, the rumors either want Delict or Koundé. We'll have to see, but I still think they'll be all right defensively. Maybe not as good, but yeah, I think with those wing backs, you're looking for attacking returns more than you are clean sheets, possibly. But yeah, that's just my take on Chelsea. Is there anything else you like to add, Jordan? Is there any player that is locked in your team?
Well, the way last season went with me and Mount didn't really go so well, because when I did bring him in, he didn't do anything for me. And then when I got rid of him, he did a lot without me. So if I was to decide between Mount or Havertz, I'd probably go Havertz over Mount, just because I had more fortune with Havertz. He got me a return, but when I did get rid of him, he did get a return too, and I lost out on that. But he did bear more great than Mount did for me, that's for sure. So at 8 mil, I do think it's a little bit more than I thought he would be. I thought he'd be at 7.5. 8 mil seems quite a lot. That's the standard of pretty much like Saka and those type of players. I don't know about Mount. It's an interesting one.
I think I wasn't surprised when I saw Mount at 8 million. I thought he'd be 8 million, to be fair. But yeah, I do see the shout. He could have been 7.5, but I believe he was 7.5 at the start of last season, and he obviously had a decent season. So he's got that 0.5 rise. But yeah, hope that's covered Chelsea. We like the wing backs, definitely. I wouldn't be against doubling up on them, like I mentioned, with James and Chilwell. And Havertz is definitely an option for me this year as a forward, if I want another forward other than Haaland, basically. So yeah, those are our thoughts on Chelsea. Let's move on to the next team. And that is West Ham. And obviously the big one is Bowen at 8.5 million. Let's chat about that, because straight away, I think FPL have decided to just kill Bowen as an FPL asset, because I don't see any point in getting him in really at that price point, unless you disagree with me. What's your take on Bowen?
Well, if you compare the fixtures, like the first game is Man City home. That's not going to be easy for West Ham. The first game of the season to go against Man City, and then the fifth fixture is Spurs home. Again, not an easy fixture for West Ham either. So apart from those two, they've only got Nottingham Forest, Brighton, and Villa, who are decent fixtures. But if we compare that to Bowen's 8.5 mil, I guess because of his last season, how well he did, his price is justified in that, because he did really well. He had a great season. It's the matter of the question if West Ham and Bowen can keep that up in this next season to be worthy of the 8.5 mil, because that is a lot of money for a midfielder. But for Bowen, I don't doubt his talent, performances, and I do believe he'll get a lot of returns. But for the price, it might be a bit too much for me to have him in my team.
Well, the thing with Bowen is, you look at his price, he's at 8.5 million. And you've got players like Saka, Foden, Mount, Luis Diaz, who are all priced at 8 million. I think it would have been better if FPL priced him 8 million to cluster him, with the other midfielders at that price point, 8 million. At 8.5, he becomes, is he more attractive than a Foden at 8 million if Foden plays, or even a Havertz? I know Havertz isn't a midfielder, or Mount, sorry. I'm not so sure. I think I would have liked it if he was 8 million. So at that price, I don't think he's coming into my team. And anyway, I don't know if you guys should be targeting West Ham, especially for the first 5, or as a game week 1, in your game week 1 team. Maybe they become options later down the line, but not for game week 1 for me. Other than that, sorry, what were you saying?
Oh no, when you said about Foden and Havertz, I do think as well, Bowen is pretty much nailed to play every game. But on the other hand, Foden and that might not be as that much involved in matches as much as Bowen will be. So I think that as well is put into consideration, that Bowen will play 90 minutes every game mostly, and might get more returns than Havertz and Foden will playing less games.
Yeah, I understand. Obviously, with Man City, there's always that risk of rotation, and with Bowen, he's their talisman. He's nailed, and he is their main man, if we're being honest. So there is that premium, I guess, you pay for their star man. But I still, at 8.5, I'd rather get Diaz. Basically, I agree with FPL River there. Leo also thinks he's overpriced. He overperformed his XG last season, and thought Bowen would come in at 8, but I guess he's high as he got 200 plus points. Yeah, obviously he did get 200 plus points, so I see why they've given him a rise in price. But it's just very weird with the other pricing. Like, they've gone cheap on a lot of other players, but then some other players they haven't. It's a bit weird the way they've priced it. But yeah, it will be interesting to see how he does, Bowen. Can he keep up that season he had with the last season? Also, the other one we should talk about is Antonio at 7.5. I'm not surprised. I think Watkins is 7.5. Bamford is 7.5. So it makes sense to put him at 7.5. He could be a decent option later down the line in the season. I remember last season I had Antonio, and he had a great start to the season, as well as Ben Rama. I remember I had both of them, I believe. Both started off the season like a house on fire, and then with Antonio, I think around Christmas, the second half of the season especially, he really slowed down, and I think a lot of that was down to him playing too many minutes, not enough rotation for him. There's not really anyone else in the West Ham team that can play up front other than who did they have up front? I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's not many rotation for him, for Antonio. So he looked very tired on his last legs, pretty much. And you hope that break that he has over the summer, that he's back to his form that he had at the start of the season. So I'm not writing Antonio off completely. He could become an option. Bowen's still an option later down the line as well. But other than that, see, Aguard is at 5 mil defender. I wouldn't be going there. I think Sofal and Ben Johnson at 4.5 is decent. If you want a cheap 4.5 million player. Cresswell he's all right. He's shown some consistency throughout a couple of seasons. He's also picks up the odd assists. But other than that, Ben Rama's at 6. Maybe that's okay. Lanzini 5.5 if you want to go there. But other than that, I wouldn't see West Ham as an option anyway for game week 1. Would you agree? Obviously, Man City game week 1, so I don't think many of us will be going there.
No, it'd be pretty brave to go for that. I mean, you never know. Bowen could bang a goal against Man City in the first game, but that would be a risk to take, especially for 8.5 mil midfielder like Bowen. But I did take a risk like that in the last season of the last game week with Coutinho, who was against Man City and did score. So there is that. You never know. Could Bowen do that same thing?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see with West Ham. But for me, it's an ignore for a game week 1 team. If Bowen was priced slightly cheaper, I maybe would have took a punt, but nah, not right now anyway. But yeah, let's move on to the next team that was released, and that was Newcastle. The only players that I was actually interested in finding at the price was probably Callum Wilson. I was a bit interested in Gomeres because obviously, he was decent last year as well when he came in. St. Max, interestingly, is now a midfielder, which I'm happy about because I didn't understand why he was a forward. But yeah, let's talk about Newcastle. Callum Wilson 7.5. I think that's expected. A lot of these Antonio, Bamford, Callum Wilson, all these guys, Watkins 7.5 makes sense, I guess. Pope, the new signing, is 5 million. He could be decent. I thought maybe they could price him at 4.5, but I know he's a decent FPL. He's been a good FPL asset for Burnley, so maybe that's why they thought we'll price him at 5 million. Dan Burn and Shaw at 4.5 is also quite good, I think, if they get game time and if they are nailed, because I think Newcastle have signed Botman, who is a left-sided centre-back. So I don't know what that does for Burn and Shaw, but I still think they're good options. But yeah, Gomeres. What's your take on Gomeres at 6 mil, Jordan?
I said that's a bargain again. We predicted Gomeres to be much more expensive than that, but 6 mil, that's great for a player like Gomeres.
With Gomeres, so my take on him is I'll have to see how he does again to see if he could carry on the goal scoring streak he had. He got a few important goals at the back end of last season for Newcastle. But I do like him as a player. I think he's a really good player, and he probably will improve. But I don't know if he'll come into my team. As you can see, guys, with their Newcastle fixtures, they got Forest day 1, game week 1, which looks good. But they've got Man City and Wolves. Sorry, they got Man City, Wolves, and Liverpool. So yeah, that don't look good, especially that Liverpool and that Man City game in the first 5. I wouldn't be going against, I wouldn't be going near Newcastle for me personally. Let us know, guys, if you are getting any Newcastle players in your game week 1 team. But later down the line, definitely, I like the look of Wilson. I'm not ruling Wilson out because if Newcastle don't sign another striker, I think he could become a decent option, a cheap-ish option for us if we need a striker later down the line on wildcard or whatever. But other than that, I think those are the main talking points. St. Max, I know some people like him. For me, not yet. Still, with the fixtures, I just think stay away from Newcastle. Would you agree?
Yeah, I guess because they're against two top 5 teams in the first 5 fixtures, Man City and Liverpool. So yeah, that's probably a team you want to watch and see how they do in the first 5 fixtures and decide when their fixtures get more easier. You have by then a better idea on who is more of a standout, I guess, for Newcastle. But
Yeah,
with Callum Wilson, I was a bit surprised he was priced the same as Watkins and other 7.5 million players, because Wilson did get injured quite a long time in the season,
yeah, he was out for a while.
almost as long as Chilwell was. But yeah, I was hoping he would be like 7 mil or 6.5.
Oh
But
nah, I always,
that was
I
reaching for 6.5, I think.
yeah, it's just I think it's most newly promoted strikers are usually 6.5. You know, your Mitrovic's, your Solankes and stuff. But now I think the price for me makes sense, as in every other striker pretty much is priced at that 7.5 million mark. I think 7 million could have been all right as well. But with Wilson, I think it's more of a fitness thing. If he is fit and plays, he is usually a good asset. He is on penalties as well normally. But I don't think that will change next season. So that's why I do like him. But yeah, that's our thoughts on Newcastle, guys. Let us know in the comments below what you think of Newcastle. Let me just read some comments out. We've got David Hamill who says, "Looking forward to seeing you guys revise drafts." Yep, we will have revised drafts once all the players are revealed in price. I think by tomorrow we'll know every team pretty much. So we'll have a revised draft out, and it will look quite different to the one we did, I think, a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, that should be a good video. Watch out for that one. And don't forget, guys, if you are just joining the stream, don't forget to, drop a like. Also subscribe if you're new to the channel. It really helps, the algorithm, and helps our videos be seen more on YouTube. FPL River says like Trippier and Bruno G, but they've got City and Liverpool first 5. Yep, I agree with that. The fixture run just doesn't look good. Leo says Gomeresh and Trippier locked for me. I like watching St. Max, but he's not an FPL asset. And then David says Bruno G too pricey this year. DM who scored from almost every shot he had last season. Yeah, I understand. It was going to be interesting to see if he can keep up that hot streak he had in front of goal, popping up. I still think he will score. I think he does play a bit advanced as well. Just he makes those runs, those late runs into the box. So yeah, Newcastle are an interesting team. I still don't believe they're going to challenge for top 6, and a lot of people do. I still think they're going to try get into that top 6. But yeah, let's see. It's an interesting times at Newcastle, isn't it, with the new owners and everything. Now let's move on to the next team that was revealed, and that is Southampton. Now, it's not the most exciting team we're waiting for, I would say. If we're being honest, they've got Ward-Prowse at 6.5. Probably is the main man. I'm not the biggest fan of Ward-Prowse. I know I rate him as a player. I think he's brilliant at free kicks. He takes penalties, but his open play XG isn't great. He does rely quite heavily on those free kicks and penalties, and yeah, that's why I'm not too big on him as an FPL asset. But I rate him, but not in FPL terms. Adams 6.5. It could be a good option, I think, later down the season if Southampton's fixtures turn good. If Adams nails down a starting spot, I think Shea Adams could be an okay option, in my opinion. But other than that, let's look. Walker Peters not really interested, and then Romeo 5 mil. I think that's too much. But yeah, other than that, really, it's just Ward-Prowse and Adams really that you could think of. You could really, if you're interested in, and I'm not interested in Ward-Prowse. I think Adams is the only one I would be interested in later down the line. But what's your take on Ward-Prowse and Shea Adams? Unless you have different views.
I think Shea Adams is a good shout, 6.5 mil forward. especially now Roja's gone back to Chelsea from being loaned at Southampton last season. I think it gives him more of a opportunity for Che Adams now up front to possibly get more returns for Southampton and be like the main guy, like Bowen is for West Ham. But I also think Bednarek at 4.5 mil defender is pretty good too to have if you want to save up on the budget, because he's a nailed player that is in defence for Southampton too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The thing I'd
same.
say, sorry, the
Yeah.
thing I'd say with these 4.5 million defenders is, if we're all going to go big at the back, are we going to have many slots for these 4.5 million defenders? That's the only thing. I think with the way the FPL has priced a lot of players, I think we're just going to focus on the top 6 teams mainly, instead of like these cheap, these cheaper players at other teams. I think it is going to be mainly the big 6 teams we target. If with the big at the back, are we going to have any 4.5 million defender slots? That's the thing. But yeah, not a lot of interest. And you look at their fixtures as well. Spurs game week 1, they've got Man United, they've got Chelsea, they've got Leicester. It doesn't look great, to be honest. So yeah, we wouldn't be getting in any Southampton players, I don't think, in game week 1. Certainly not. But yeah, let's move on to the final team of today, and that is Bournemouth, a newly promoted side. Also, another team with very bad fixtures. They've got Man City, Arsenal, and Liverpool back to back to back. So, and that's sandwiched between Villa and Wolves. So their fixtures aren't. They've probably got some of the worst start I've seen for a newly promoted side, playing 3 of the top 6. But let's look at some of their players. I know Solanke, former Liverpool player. I think he's a decent player for them, but 6 million. Not really interested in. If I'm being honest, I'm not too interested in Bournemouth. Yeah, what do you make of Bournemouth anyway? Other than Solanke, he's not really anything to shout about, really.
I ain't got a clue who any of these players are, if I'm honest.
Wow, man. Oh, I know a few of their players. Obviously, Billing, he was in the Premier League before. Obviously Cook, but yeah, if we're being honest, they're not really any. There's not really FPL options, are they? So
No.
not much to discuss about Bournemouth, if we're being honest. So yeah, FPL Rivers, terrible fixtures for Bournemouth. Stay away. FPL Rivers says, "Think you're right, David. Not one 4.5 million mid announced." Oh, I think he's replying to this comment, which is a good comment actually. Romeo at 5. Will 5 be the cheapest mid this year? Goodbye 4.5 mids maybe. I don't know. I think there will be some 4.5 mids. Well, hopefully there is, but yeah, maybe the ones when we get the full price list of teams, there'll be 1 or 2 younger players that are priced at 4.5. Hopefully, at least some playing ones, because I don't want to be getting in a non-playing midfielder for a 4.5 spot. But yeah, Bournemouth. Yeah, that's the final team out of the way, guys. So yeah, so those were the 5 teams very quickly. Chelsea, West Ham, Newcastle, Southampton, and Bournemouth. If we're being honest, the main teams we were interested in was actually Chelsea. Chelsea and West Ham, obviously. Are you surprised anything? What's your surprise of the day, would you say? Like one price or one player that kind of caught you off guard?
Is that for any of the players?
Yeah, any
or
of the
just
teams.
Chelsea?
Any of the teams today.
That probably Bowen 8.5 mil, I'd say, is the surprising one.
Fair enough.
say-
Yeah. Sorry, what are you saying?
I'd also say probably Chilwell and James. That's 6
What,
mil.
6 mil?
Yeah. I thought one would be more expensive than the other, or vice versa.
Yeah, I think those were the ones that everyone kind of raised eyebrows about Bowen's price, at 8.5 million there. Got another comment here from Rich Melvin. Wonder if these newly promoted clubs will have any playing 4 million defenders. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully they do. So, but as we mentioned pretty much throughout the stream, I think big at the back is going to be a way to go. I'll be very, very surprised if people don't have 3 maybe 4 premium defenders in their game week 1 team, because Trent, Chilwell, James, Cancelo, these guys, I think most of us going to have them in our
Yeah,
team.
I'm imagining 4 for me, premium players in my team.
Okay. We will do another updated draft, guys. I think there's going to be obviously another price reveal tomorrow with Spurs and Leicester, the main 2 from tomorrow. So we will do another video tomorrow, probably the same time at 7 p.m. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens. So yeah, Spurs tomorrow. Harry Kane and Son are the ones we're looking forward to. What do you think they'll be, just very quickly?
Oh, I'm hoping Son is 12 mil, pushing that 11.5 mil. If that, it won't be surprising if he is 11.5, because the prices for forwards and midfielders have been quite cheap.
Okay.
So let's hope.
Yeah, I'm predicting Son to be 12 million. Because he did hit 200 points last season as well. So I think FPL will just go give him 12 mil. Harry Kane is the one. If he's priced at 11.5, I wouldn't be surprised. But either way, if he's 12, I don't think many people will complain either. But he's one at 11.5. I can see Harry Kane. But we'll have to wait and see tomorrow.
As for my plan to work for my team, I'm either hoping Kane or Son, one of them is 11.5, and hopefully both are not 12, because then I'll have to rephrase my plan on what to do with my team, because the structure it is at the moment, it is it's working well with the prices that have been given. I'm just hoping that Son or Kane is 11.5 mil for it to be perfect.
Yeah, I'm interested to see the Spurs prices as well as Leicester, because that could be something decent to keep an eye out on. But yeah, guys, that's been pretty much all the 5 teams today. We're gonna wrap the stream up in a bit. If you've got any more questions in the comments below, drop them down, and then we'll try our best to answer them. Also, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe if you're new around here. We have a lot of content to come throughout the season, and if you enjoy what you're watching, don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, also, guys, don't forget to follow us on Twitter. We are the FPL Duo on Twitter. We usually tweet out links when we go live. So, best way to keep up to date with what we do is through our Twitter, and you can also chat with us on there. Also on Instagram, we're the FPL Duo _. We recently opened Instagram up, so check us out on Instagram. FPL River says, see you tomorrow, boys. Yep, we'll be back again tomorrow. Thank you, mate. We really appreciate it, David.
Yeah, cheers.
And yeah, guys, hope to see you lots tomorrow. Same again. And yeah, now just excited now. I just want to build my team. I don't really want a price reveal tomorrow. I just want them to drop the game, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I was having a little play around with my team earlier on, from just having the price reveals from the other teams and players revealed. Gives a better insight on how the team structure is going to look for me.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, guys, that's it from us today. That's it from the FPL Duo. We hope to see you tomorrow again. And yeah, let's see what Son and Kane are priced at. But for now, take it easy, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. Drop a like on the way out. And yeah, hope you all had a good weekend. Take care.
Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.